All right, in this video, I'm introducing division. Now, division is very similar to multiplication. They're kind of like opposites, just like adding and subtracting. So if you know your multiplication facts up to at least 5 times 5, you should have an easier time with division. Okay, and I'll show you how the two are connected with some examples. All right, so if we had a question, multiplication question, 4 times 3 is 12, or 4 groups of 3 equals 12. Okay, and I can draw that out. So with division, what we're doing is making equal amounts in the groups. Okay, so if I have 4 groups, there's going to be 3 in each group. Okay, so they all have an equal amount. Okay, and that's the same for division. We're going to have an equal amount. Now, what I would want to do for a division question is, we have to start with the biggest number. It's kind of like subtraction. You always have the biggest number first. Okay, so I put the 12 here. Now, I'm going to divide those 12 items into 4 groups. So I put 4. And then how many are in each group? There's 3. So these pictures work for both these equations here. So this says 12. Let's call them straws. 12 straws were divided into 4 groups. And there ended up being 3 in each group. Okay. Now, I'll show you a couple of other examples, and then I'll show you one that it's a little trickier, I guess. So something like 4 divided by 2. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do this. So you can do a picture, and so you've got 4 items, and it has to be divided into 2 groups. Okay, and then what I do is I just go 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So that means there's 2 in each group. Another way of doing it, and this is where I'm comfortable doing that, is when I have the question 4 divided by 2, I think of it as kind of like when we did algebra, right? I turn it into a multiplication question, and I go 2 times, so 2 times something equals 4. Okay, and then I know that 2 times 2 is 4. All right, so that won't work for everybody, but I always think multiplication when I do division. All right, but it doesn't matter which way you do as long as it works for you. All right, here's another example, 6 divided by 3. So once again, I have 6 items, whatever they are. I'm going to divide into 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3. So now I have to put those 6 items in that group. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you notice I gave an equal amount each time. I can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in one. That's not what it's asking. I got to have a total of 6. That's what this number means. You have a total of 6. So when I look back, do I have a total of 6? 2, 4, 6. Yes. All right. And there's 2 in each group. So my answer is that. Okay. Now, these answers always work out. Now, that's not how it always works. Sometimes there's 3 of you and there's 2 cookies. What do, right? You got to like cut them up or whatever, okay? So, and that happens in real life. So we're just going to look at an example here of when this kind of thing happens and what you do. So I have this question here, 7 divided by 2. So if I was going to draw it out, there's my 2 groups, and I'm going to put the 7 into those 2 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you'll notice one group has 4 and one group has 3. So they're not equal, okay? So that's not dividing, because dividing is sharing and making it equal, all right? So what we would have to say is there could be 2 groups of 3, okay? We could have 2 groups of 3, dividing this up, and then there would be 1 left over. Okay, so that way now they have an equal amount in their groups, but there's 1 left over. Okay, so that'd be like you and a friend. There were seven Timbits, and there's only 2 of you, right? And you divide them up, and then you're like, oh, there's 1 left over. Now, what do you do with that 1 left over? You can rock, paper, scissors for it. You could cut it in half, or you could give it to someone else, right? So there's options there, but this is real life. Not everything works out evenly. So we're going to see things like this where you're going to have some left over. Okay.